Too much on my mind, I can't talk about it. All my VVS is shining bright, ice cold diamonds. I just need to vent, hope you will listen. Some people wanna be friends, but don't know the difference.
What's going on here?
It's
your boy Shot One Time back again with another video. Alright, today we about to react. Yeah, 4 reactions, you already know what it is. Today we about to react to the best father-son moments in anime. If I don't see my son Naruto and Boruto on this joint, spoiler alert. If I don't see my son Naruto and Boruto on this joint, or Goku and Gohan, somebody gonna have to run me my hands. Clock in, let's go. You already know. We about to start this video right now. It's not wasting time. Let's go.
In battle shown in anime, there are tropes. You know how it's almost always the main hero fighting the main villain, and fate will bend backwards all the way to make sure that will happen. There's also the designated girl fight, because a lot of times it's the female members of the good guys team and the villains who will inevitably end up fighting. I think those tropes need no introduction for you, but here's something that I've noticed, and it's going to be our topic for today's special video. It's the father-son duel. With shonen anime's insanely large cast of characters, the long run, and the inevitable clash of ideals, it's not too uncommon to have a key battle in the series be one featuring a father-son duo. At times it comes out as a grudge match, while other times it comes out as part of a training session. Today we're going over 8 of the most notable father versus son moments in anime. But before we get started, I'm here to urge you to hit that like and subscribe button.
Okay.
It seems that Bleach just doesn't have the father-son duos with the best relationships. While I wouldn't consider Ichigo and Ishin's relationship to be full of tension besides the bickering, the same can't be said of Uryu and Ryuken. The two Quincy's just don't get along too well, and then have a heartfelt duel early on in the Arrancar arc. This battle features a depowered Uryu trying his hardest to just defeat his father through his wits. Give this guy some respect. Even without his Quincy powers due to the events of the Soul Society arc, Uryu still manages to come up with some creative ways to try and beat his father. Ultimately, I still consider the battle a win for Ryuken, who manages to defeat his son by overcoming all those tricks I just mentioned, only to reveal that it's all an elaborate training arc of sorts. In the end, despite their less than stellar relationship, Ryuken had intended to restore his son's powers by taking the latter to the limit.
Nani? Oh yeah, I've seen this one. Sanji be skipping like he skips.
Let's take a look at One Piece now, shall we? Specifically Sanji versus Judge. Not too long ago, in One Piece standards, we got another epic father-son battle to add to the gauntlet, with Sanji finally getting his hands on his father, who he's not on good terms with, and that's putting it lightly.
How was Sanji directly kicking the pole?
Sanji hates his neglectful and abusive father, and that all comes to a boiling point when they finally battle each other. The two had a back-and-forth duel after Sanji reaffirms his convictions. Empowered by unpleasant memories of his youth, Sanji manages a furious recovery. However, he gets caught off guard by his father's soldiers, and that's what leads to his defeat. From a storyline perspective, it would make sense at that point of the story, but I personally want to see him break through those walls soon. I think that eventually we could potentially see him overcome that final hurdle and complete his character arc. Up next is another tenuous father-son duo, Baki and Yujiro.
Hey, look at Baki.
For Baki, the greatest opponent that stands in his way to greatness is no other than his own father. His father Yujiro, the strongest fighter in the world, is such a monster of a man that matching up to him, much less besting him, is quite practically an impossible feat. It's amazing what high standards our protagonist puts himself up to, and we'll soon see how far the distance between the two of them are in this battle early on in the series. Despite all the training that Baki had to undergo in preparation for the battle with his father, everything comes crashing down as soon as the battle begins. There's just nothing that Baki can do to harm his father, and his father easily bombards him with blows. This is a fight that's quite hard to watch, with Yujiro seemingly being proven right about his son's weakness. Even more painful though is seeing Baki's mom stop the fight only to get killed for her efforts. Yet let's just say that Yujiro's not exactly the model dad, but he sure makes a great ultimate villain for our hero to endeavour to beat. Oh yeah. Since we're on the topic of classic anime, let's continue with Yusuke vs Raizen. Among the numerous arcs of Yu Yu Hakusho, the Three Kings arc is one of the less renowned ones. Now that doesn't mean that it's devoid of some key moments and memorable fights, however. One such fight is the battle between Yusuke and his ancestral father Raizen. After the appetizer of a battle, Yusuke and his team go on to meet Raizen for their battle. It could have been a mistake on Yusuke's part as he gets absolutely trounced in this battle. Despite all that Yusuke's been through in terms of becoming stronger, he still realizes that his father's strength far surpasses his, despite the father not even being in peak form. This pushes Yusuke into a training arc, only to be disappointed when it's time for the rematch. Despite Raizen nearly killing Yusuke in their second meeting, the former simply explains some important revelations to his son before shortly dying due to starvation. Yet, such a shame we never got to see the fight between father and son when they're at their peak powers now, isn't it? Then again, who are we kidding? Raizen's probably going to run away with it considering how peak Raizen is, and is probably the strongest being in the Yu Yu Hakusho universe.
Oh yeah.
We move on from that one to the next battle, Gaara vs Rasa. The Battle of Sand Wielders is one of the early highlights in Naruto's 4th Shinobi War. Reincarnated by Kabuto, Rasa gets sent to fight the allied Shinobi forces. It's just fitting that his major battle would be in the form of a duel with his own son. Gaara and Rasa was just a thing of beauty and a great battle between two sandbenders, so to speak. It's a battle that makes it seem that the father is in control throughout, and he moves on to finish the job with the techniques he's used to defeat the One Tail. However though, to his surprise, he realizes too late that his son is no longer who he once was. Realizing some regrets as a parent, Rasa finally succumbs and gets resealed after a climactic scene. But before doing so, however, he gets to share a very tender moment with his son where he congratulates the latter and expresses his apologies.
Should have gave him that gold saying he wouldn't be trash right now.
Next in line is Goku versus Gohan.
Okay. I don't like how Gohan was scrapping with Super
probably the
Saiyan.
most iconic father-son duo in anime. Goku and Gohan had a lot of history, and my favorite among those moments, besides the passing of the torch way back in the Cell Saga, is the Dragon Ball Super fight. In a bid to become stronger, Gohan passes on more training with Piccolo in order to have a more challenging test. A tag fight just doesn't do it, so Gohan proposes an all-out battle against his father. Goku in Super Saiyan 2 is already a humongous challenge to have in front of you, but Gohan just knows no backing down and still manages to keep pace. This forces Goku to bring out Super Saiyan Blue, which Gohan responds to by powering up even more. At the end of the clash, Goku reigns supreme, but Gohan more than earns some newfound respect from his father. I think the fight, with its responses of power-ups and display of sheer destruction, helps encapsulate why a lot of people love Dragon Ball so much. The cool thing about the fight is that it's not just a battle of strength, it's Gohan's attempt at showing the fruits of his growth and the reaffirmation of his vow to keep pushing himself and his father to greater heights. Among the father-son fights in anime, I think that few can come close to the
I like the
emotional
fight and
stakes
everything, but
of Gray versus
I
Silver.
wanted Gohan to unlock something else.
It's been a long time coming, and with the culmination of Fairy Tail at hand, it's only right for Gray to finally have his long-fated showdown against his father, who's long believed to be dead. It's the battle of two top-tier ice wielders in Fairy Tail, and it's just full of hype. I know Fairy Tail's been notorious for some of its fights, but I think that the fight between Gray and Silver is one that didn't disappoint. As expected from two people who know each other's moves very well, the fight ended up being touch and go, with both fighters countering each other's moves. Silver gets the upper hand for a stretch, but powered by his resolve and memories of the past, Gray wins after some clever bluffing and the technique Vambrace. I like this fight because it feels like the culmination of Gray's backstory that started all the way to the second arc of the series. It caps off a long journey on a plot point that I honestly think that the author had forgotten, but we did get some closure and some feels along the way.
Don't call me Baldy.
Gamui and Umibo's history stems from way back. They've never been each other's best friends ever since the time Kamui was much younger, and it all came ahead towards the end of the Rakuyo decisive battle arc. The sudden appearance of Kamui sparks a battle between father and son, and you can just feel all the pent-up emotions overflow with each move they do. For Kamui, it's a battle of redemption, a way for him to prove that he's come a long way and has become far stronger than his father could imagine. The fight was looking like something that would end when one of the two died, but Kagura manages to stop the battle and appeal to their familial bonds.
帰ろう。ただの家族に。
So that's it for today. Pretty much a video befitting the occasion of Father's Day, everyone.
I like
if you're up
it.
for more special videos like
this
this,
is a Father's
please
Day
comment
video?
with your
I should've watched
suggestions.
it on
Otherwise,
Father's Day.
feel free to talk about other stuff like your favourite father-son duos in anime. If you enjoyed the video, which I sure hope you did, don't forget to drop a like and maybe share the video and the channel to your friends. You may also support the channel through the Patreon link that I'll be putting in the description box.
Bro,
And if you want to support the channel
Ain't
further,
nobody care about your
channel member-
Patreon? What's wrong with you? Yo, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You already know what it is. It's your boy Chuck One Time. Let me know what video you want me to react to next.
Okay.
I'll see y'all in the next one. You already know.
Time. Shell Boogie. Hey. Hey. You already know me. You saucy and flea. Okay. Diamonds dripping on me. Oh God. One time a boogie. Hey. You already know me. Too saucy and flea.